As we'll see, this engagement with existing work should be credited, meaning that you should give explicit credit to the authors and scholars whose work you use. Credited engagement with existing scholarship is the foundation of academia. In order to engage with other people's work, you'll often need to explain it, describe it, and even reproduce parts of it in your own work. But how do you do this? By doing what's known as source integration, which is a term describing various techniques for synthesizing sources in your own work. Source integration methods like summarization, paraphrasing, and quotation are all appropriate and welcome forms of engagement in scholarly writing, as long as proper credit is given to the sources. Proper source integration is central to the task of scholarly writing. There are three main ways to integrate sources into your work: summarization, paraphrasing, and quotation. Summarizing means explaining a longer and more detailed portion of someone's work in a shorter and more efficient way. Paraphrasing means using different words to relate the same idea someone else has already expressed, usually in some detail. Quoting someone means repeating their exact wording or phrasing, but importantly, quoting means reproducing that wording in a way that makes two things very clear. First, the debt to the original source must be explicitly noted. Second, the fact that the quote is an exact word-for-word reproduction should also be made clear. This sort of word-for-word or verbatim use of someone's language is often called direct quotation. In comparison, summarizing and paraphrasing are often called indirect forms of quotation. All three forms of source integration are good to use in scholarly writing. In fact, it's typically good to use a mix of these strategies in your work. You might, for example, summarize an article you've read if only the main argument or findings really applies to your current project. However, if the exact wording and phrasing of your source just phrases a key idea so eloquently and effectively that you think your reader should consider reading the wording exactly as it is, you might want to use a direct quote. The best way to learn when to quote, when to summarize, and when to paraphrase is to practice through writing and especially editing your own academic work. Paying attention to your course readings and research sources and how they integrate their own sources can also help you to learn by example.